tuning into my channel again. So today I've got a makeup tutorial, and actually I realize it has been a long time since I've posted a makeup tutorial on here, and I do apologize for that. But I do post makeup tutorials every single Monday on Blick.ch in German language, but you know, so I'm filming makeup tutorials all the time, but they're not actually for my channel, and I know I've kind of neglected filming makeup tutorials on my channel, so I'm hoping to make up for it today with this look inspired by Kylie Jenner. Now, she has been posting some really fun pictures on her Instagram with this like super trendy, chic and edgy black lipstick. I personally love wearing black lipstick. I mean, honestly, I don't wear it that much like in my personal life, but I always think when I wear it, it's like, it looks so cool and edgy. So this is kind of just inspired by her and how you can make black lipstick wearable. Plus, I'm going to show you at the end a trick how you can get these metallic lips, because I do think she has a metallic black lip kit coming out, or it's already out and it's like always sold out. You know how it is with her products. They're like so hard to get a hold of. So I'll show you how to get this like metallic look, and I'm actually not using any of her lip kits. So I'm using alternative products. So I hope this will be fun for you to watch. Let's get started. I'm gonna get started with doing my foundation, and today I think I'm gonna use this one and this one, mix it together. This is the Clarins Everlasting Foundation. This is very matte, so I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of the Magic Lumi by L'Oreal. Has this been discontinued? I'm not quite sure. Sort of a luminizing primer. I really like to blend this in with foundation, so I'm just gonna shake that up. I feel like I haven't done a makeup tutorial on this channel in a really long time. Well, it's not just I feel like it, I know it. So I'm very well aware of that, guys. It's just I've been doing a lot of makeup tutorials on Blick, which is in German. So I've been doing those every Monday. Now this is a pretty full coverage foundation, but it has a really nice finish. I think it looks really nice, and it just feels, it doesn't feel super heavy on. All right, I'm just gonna use a beauty blender just to kind of stipple it in. I feel like this gives my face a much more flawless finish than if I just use a brush. Next up, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way Creamy Naturally Radiant Concealer. This literally just arrived on my doorstep today. I'm just going to use that underneath my eyes just to cover dark circles. This is in the shade Very Fair. And I'm going to take a beauty blender, just blend it out. I really do like how this concealer is looking so far. It feels really wet though. I'm going to go in with a little bit of loose powder, like translucent powder. This one is by Kryolan, with my Hakuhodo brush, which I love. I love this brush for setting my under eye concealer because I feel like I can really work it into that area. And it's really soft, so it's very like gentle on my eyes. And I'm just going to set that whole eye area. So I'm going to bronze up my skin quite a bit. This is more than I would normally do because I am so fair. But for this look, since we're going with like a really intense black lip, I want to sort of warm up the rest of my face. So I'm using this product also by Too Faced Sweet Tea Baked Luminous Glow Bronzer. So I'm going to use this bronzer almost like a contouring product. Usually I would use something a bit more cool toned for contouring, but because I do want to give myself like a really sort of warm glow, I'm going to use a bronzer for that. And what I also like to do is just get a little bit of that and then just go down my neck, because otherwise my face is going to be really sort of bronzy and the rest of me is going to be quite pale because I don't big tan. So just going to bring that down a little bit. Now I don't want to use just bronzer everywhere because that is going to look really strange, I think. So I am going to use a little bit of a cool tone contouring powder. This is by Smashbox from their contour palette. Grab that on like a bigger fan brush, and I'm just going to add in a little bit of that cool toned contour just to kind of contrast with the warmness of the blush, or the bronzer. So for a highlighter, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Glow Kit. So yeah, this is sort of more like bronzy golden shades, and I'm going to be mixing together Sunburst with a little bit of Bubbly, because this is really sort of glowy and pretty. So I'm just going to mix that together and apply that onto my cheekbones. And I personally do like to take it a little bit further down and kind of blend everything together. A buffing brush and just go over it just to kind of blend everything so it's nicely blended. So let's move on to the eye makeup. I'm first going to be using this Fall 2016 MAC Trend Forecast Eye Palette. Cream shadows, or just cream products, I mean, I'm going to use them for my eyes. And I'm going to be using this color right here in that palette and going to blend that out softly. This is a synthetic brush because if you're using cream products, I prefer to use synthetic brushes. I'm actually loving doing makeup tutorials. For the Swiss Blick portal, like the news portal that I make videos for, I have to do sort of very like neutral and like basic things. That's what they want. They don't want any like crazy looks. So I'm actually enjoying being able to do this sort of my style of makeup again, or like just the kind of makeup tutorials that, you know, I prefer to do on my channel. So I'm gonna be using some shadows by Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are really great shadows. So I'm gonna be using this one first. This one's called Birkin, and I'm just going to kind of work that into the crease and kind of just like as a very sort of overall wash of color. Then just to blend out a little bit this color on the top, I'm going to use Fresh. This is a matte finish because I really like the look of matte eyeshadows, like especially anything that's above the crease. I usually use matte shadows for that. Usually I stick to sort of shimmery shades just right on the lid. And this is called Burnt Orange. And I'm using the MAC 217 brush for this because it's a little bit more precise. And I'm going to work that a little bit more closely into the crease, winging it out and upwards a bit. I feel like that looks very flattering, especially if you have sort of more hooded eyes. You don't want to just like bring it down here. You kind of want to pull it out a little bit. So I'm also going to be using this shadow. This is called Hot Chocolate. Just getting like a tiny smidgen of that and just placing that onto that very inner part, just kind of softly blending it. I feel like these matte eyeshadows by Anastasia Beverly Hills are like so blendable. Like they're just so creamy and smooth. I really like them. Where are these made? These are made in the USA. And on the lid, I'm using a drugstore shadow, and this is by the brand called BU Color Swing Eyeshadow. Color Swing. It's like a light bronze color. It's not too dark. Because I have fair skin, I need to like really be careful about the kind of bronze colors I use because otherwise they end up looking just super brown on me. I'm just applying that right on the lid. So have you guys seen the latest Game of Thrones episode? Okay, I don't know when this video is going up, but holy smokes, the last episode, I think it was called The Battle of the Bastards. Whoa, that show is just so good. If you haven't gotten into Game of Thrones, like, you're missing out. You need to watch Game of Thrones like immediately. Let's see, so now I'm going to apply some of those same shadows on the lower lash line, and I'm gonna go back in with Birkin, and then back in with Burnt Orange, kind of sticking to the outer part here. And as a very last bit, just taking Hot Chocolate again. So I'm just taking Hot Chocolate and I'm going to put that on the very outer part and kind of connect it with that same shadow up here. So next I'm going to do this super dramatic winged liner. So for that I'm using, oh my god, my new favorite liquid liner. This is so good. This is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. It is so black and it's so smooth and it's so inexpensive and it's just, oh my god, like I think this might have replaced Inglot gel liner as my favorite liner. I'm not sure yet. I have to give it a bit more go, but it's like, it's incredible. So I just filled in my eyebrows pretty dramatically because this is gonna be like a darker look on the eyes. So on my eyes, I applied some lashes. These are the Amoras number 62 eyelashes. They're so, so pretty. I showed these in a recent haul video and I think they're just so pretty and like so dramatic and kind of like flared out, but they're only $1, so they're amazing. Now what I actually realized is I forgot to put on some blush on my cheeks and I was thinking it kind of looked a little bit strange, so I'm going to use the Milani Luminoso because I think it'll match these colors really well, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that onto my cheek and blend it out. Okay, so now we're gonna do those iconic black lips. This is actually one by Anastasia that I'm gonna use. It's the Midnight liquid lipstick. But if you don't have like a black liquid lipstick, like that's totally no problem. When I started doing black lipstick for like Halloween videos and stuff, I always just used a black eyeliner. So if you're on a budget, use a black eyeliner to just line and fill in the lips. There are also cheaper alternatives to black lipsticks than these like sort of expensive ones. You know, using a black eyeliner like worked for me for years and years. Also, if you do just use a liner, it's probably a little bit easier to apply than something like this. You need to be quite confident with applying lipstick when you do use a liquid lipstick. So I do actually think this look is very chic and glamorous, even though the lips make it obviously sort of not gothic, but it does make it look more dramatic and stuff. I do think that this is still super glam and fun. So you could just leave the black lips like that and leave them matte and just plain black, but I feel like black lips just scream for something to be layered on top. Kylie's come out with this sort of metallic looking black liquid lipstick, which is I think already sold out. So I'm going to show you how you can kind of mimic that. What you need is just an eyeshadow or a pigment or something, anything that has a little bit of a sheen to it, like a duochrome pigment or duochrome color. So I'm using actually here an eyeshadow by L'Oreal. I do believe this was limited edition. Unfortunately, it's called Chameleon, but you could also use a pigment. For example, this one is one of my favorites by MAC. This is actually a glitter. It's a MAC Reflects glitter, so it looks white, but when you apply it, it reflects like different colors. This one reflects transparent teal. This is one of my absolute favorite pigments by MAC. First off, go ahead with this one, this eyeshadow by L'Oreal, and then just kind of dab it into the center part of my lips. Like, just look at that. Even just that little bit already looks so cool. It looks so metallic. So you need anything that has a sort of duochrome pigment. And I think I'm gonna have to use a little bit of MAC Transparent Teal, the pigment. Like, look at that. Oh my God. It is so cool. Like, this is just zoomed into the lips. Can you see how metallic that looks? So cool. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give a thumbs up. I really love seeing your thumbs up on my videos. You can also leave comments below. I love reading those. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I think next week I'm gonna be doing an Eid Ramadan Arab inspired makeup tutorial because I have been getting so many requests for that and I haven't done one in, again, a really long time. And tune in next week. I'll have that video out next week. So thank you guys so much for watching and taking the time to spend some time with me on my channel, and I will see you later. Bye everyone.